What up, what up? Let me get this stream set up and we'll be good to go. Huge news over the last couple of days, and I think a lot of what we're going to be talking about is Ripple obviously trying to purchase Circle. Crazy numbers being thrown around, and that would be probably the biggest blockbuster deal we've seen in crypto by about 10 miles. I mean, that's the kind of thing that shakes the entire industry. So looking forward to talking a bit about that, as well as some other smaller things. So dry on news. It's crazy in crypto. Whenever you're looking for something to talk about, it seems to just appear out of nowhere. And the Circle news is coming at such an interesting time. I've got some very good I was talking to some people last night about the Circle deal as well, and think I got some pretty interesting perspective on that. You know, there's always more than meets the eye here. I question whether or not Ripple actually thought Circle was going to sell for $6 billion. If I was Circle, I don't know if I'd want to sell my business for $6 billion. Did Ripple purchase Circle? They put in an offer, but the purchase hasn't. It's just an offer. Rondell, I completely agree. Know what you hold. There's a lot of other cryptocurrencies out there. I think XRP is by far differentiated in a sea of, I don't know, things that to me all look very similar. And I think XRP sits in a very interesting position. Everything else just seems like it's got a lot of hope, got a lot of promise, but it's hard to see the adoption happening like we're watching for the adoption pace for XRP. Everything else just sort of seems like, oh, this one cool thing happened, and then it kind of goes dark for a while. Circle did decline the deal as we know it right now. And to be honest, I'm curious what people think. What do people think Circle's worth? Because if I was the CEO of Circle and Ripple offered me $6 billion, I would be like, no, thank you. I'm not interested in selling my business for $6 billion. We've got, let's see what the up-to-date number is. I mean, Circle's got a lot of money, like a lot of money in the USDC token. I don't think $6 billion would move me. Let me take a look at how much Circle has in market cap. So USDC is about 61 billion. So 61 billion in USDC token minted for a $6 billion purchase. Yeah, I would say Taylor says 8 to 10 billion should get it done. I would agree there, Taylor. 8 to 10 billion I think would get it done. But the question is, does Ripple have that kind of money? Does Ripple have that kind of money to throw at Circle? I don't know. I was surprised Ripple had 5 to 6 billion, to be honest. I didn't think Ripple had that much money laying around. Even if they on a $6 billion offer, that's still pretty insane that Ripple's throwing around that kind of cash. Guys, make sure to take a quick second, drop a like on the stream. It's going to help everyone see the stream, make it more visible, get everyone in here. Don't have a ton of time this morning, so I want to make sure as many people get here as possible. Did I read that right? Ripple only has 38 billion XRP left. They have 38. I think they have 38 billion XRP left in escrow, but they have more XRP on balance sheet. So not only does Ripple have the escrow, but they have some XRP in things like hot wallets. So they have 38 billion left in escrow. I think they have close to 45 billion total. Another interesting thing about the Circle thing is, like, you have to ask yourself the question, right? Even if that purchase wasn't going to go through, why did Ripple leak it, right? Why did Ripple want people to know that they were doing the purchase? It might have been that, not even if they didn't think the Circle deal would necessarily go through, they wanted to show the rest of the market that they were willing to throw around 6 billion for an acquisition. So it might have been a little bit of a marketing play by Ripple as well. Like, hey, if we go out to buy Circle, even if they say no, it will let all the other cryptocurrency companies know that we have this kind of money to throw around to go buy someone. And I think that in and of itself is a great way to attract interest. Like, right? Like, Ripple wants to show people they're interested in doing a purchase. All these other companies need to, a lot of these other companies are probably looking to be purchased. So what Ripple is doing is just saying, hey man, we've got the money. We'll go out and buy a Circle. And if Circle says no, who wants to be up next? Jim, thanks for joining, man. Really appreciate that. Of course, 1970 HODL, no problem. Love to be here. Love to be able to give these updates. Doesn't Circle use ETH? Well, Circle uses Circle essentially has a stable coin issued on a whole bunch of different blockchains. I think it's interesting that they're not on the XRP ledger. They've clearly been deliberate about not putting their stable coin on the XRP ledger, which I find interesting. And it's even more fascinating when you see Ripple essentially trying to outright purchase Circle. So clearly what Ripple wants to do is they just want to buy Circle, take the USDC token and turn it into RLUSD. And I don't want to, if they did that, they would be the most dominant player in the cryptocurrency industry by far. By far. They've got a lot of work to do on RLUSD catching USDC. And if they could just buy USDC and make it RLUSD, I mean, that's a home run. Oh, Matrix, thank you so much. Why is Ripple still using market makers? Well, market makers are critical. Like, you need to use market makers. Market makers create liquidity. You definitely need market makers. It creates deep liquid markets. I completely agree, Taylor. The fact that Ripple is out shopping right now really shows you how strong of a position they're in. The rest of the cryptocurrency market's worried about a recession, all these different things, and Ripple's like, all right, who we buying today? Ripple walked into the bar and put its 5 billion balls on the table. Exactly. They came in, they said, hey, we got this money. We're looking to purchase someone. If it's not Circle, who's it going to be? And I actually put out a little bit of an idea of who I thought the purchase would be. If not Circle, I would love to actually see Ripple buy one of the market makers and have Ripple control some of the underlying market making infrastructure for the cryptocurrency market. I think the combination of owning the market makers and the combination of owning a prime brokerage and Hidden Road, I think that's a very cool and powerful combination. So I think a market maker would be a very interesting thing for Ripple to purchase. But Circle, I liked Circle a lot, man. Like I said, I don't think that purchase is going to end up going through. If I was to just guess, I don't see any way that's going to happen. But man, if it did, oh, that would be That would be a crazy purchase. That would change the entire cryptocurrency industry by a long shot. R3, I have talked about the idea of R3 before. I just don't know like how their business is actually doing. You know, R3 is a tough one because everything they do is private. And it's just hard for me to really surmise like how good R3 is actually doing. Like Circle is obvious, right? Like for Circle, how good is Circle doing? Well, we could just pull up a chart of USDC. Take a look at the market cap. In 1 minute. This is a nice thing about a company like Circle. Like it's like we can just take a look at a chart and we can see, all right, well, the Circle token has grown 30, or the USDC token has grown 30 billion in the last year, right? Like we can just see it. Like people are using USDC. There's massive mints. And the yearly chart looks very good. We had this huge dip in stablecoins, then we had this huge rise. Like there's clear value there. For R3, I don't really know what Ripple would be getting. If R3 is banging on all cylinders right now, right? Then oh yeah, go buy them. R3's got some super active business and they're landing a lot of partners and have projects going live. Like go buy R3. It's just tough to know because it's all private. Circle, is Circle for sale at the right price, Montana? That's an interesting question. I do think Circle's available at the right price. I think any company really is, but I don't know if Circle is really looking to be bought. Sometimes an offer comes around that you can't refuse. Oh wow, Bitcoin's breaking out. Bitcoin's trying to push up to 100K. Very good to see. Love to see Bitcoin making this move. It's going to take a lot of pressure off the rest of the market. Let me just switch this chart over. Yeah, so here we got Bitcoin trying to break out here. Good start to the trading day. Bitcoin looks like it's right up against this 96 wall. It can kind of pop through there in the next couple minutes. We might have a chance to get a pretty big run in the rest of the market. Oh, and there we go. Yeah, we're popping right through that. So that looks really good, and I wouldn't be surprised if you started to see the rest of the market sort of follow. Oh yeah, we're pumping right through that thing. Sir Oz, always spreading the truth. Appreciate it, man. We salute you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Joe said, I got a question. If sending 1 million to London, what would be the total cost of the transaction if using RLUSD, and how much would the same transaction total cost using XRP? It would be about the same price, but one would depend on whether or not you just wanted to use RLUSD, like the person needed RLUSD or needed something else. XRP would be used as the liquidity if they needed something else. So say you wanted to send RLUSD, but the person on the other side didn't want RLUSD, they wanted a different asset. You would use XRP in the middle as the liquidity to kind of bridge to that other token. So XRP is more of the liquidity than the actual payments token, but moving the value cross borders, I mean, it would be pretty much the same cost with either. This is a great question, and actually I have something interesting to share with you guys. The question is where's the question? Could Ripple sell XRP to generate additional liquidity for their offer? Well, I will say this, something that I did learn is I do believe that XRP was actually part of the Hidden Road deal. So I do believe that Hidden Road actually took XRP as part of the purchase by Ripple to buy Hidden Road. So no, I wouldn't be surprised if they could add XRP to the deal to purchase Circle. That might be a way to do it. But I am under the understanding that that XRP was part of the purchase of Hidden Road. And it wasn't that they sold XRP to purchase Hidden Road. It's that they actually gave Hidden Road XRP, but it was an undisclosed amount. I personally wouldn't be surprised if Hidden Road got 1 billion XRP. For a company the size and the likes of Hidden Road, I was surprised they sold for as little money as they did. And the XRP on the backside of that makes it make a whole lot more sense. Does Ripple have legal clarity to sell to institutions? Ripple, look, here's the thing. Ripple doesn't, if the institution wants to work with Ripple, they can do whatever they want. It all comes down to the other institutions, their perception of everything. If they're like, hey, look, we think this thing's going to not be an issue in a couple years, they can do whatever they want. With the new SEC, I think a lot of people will say, you know what, maybe there's not full clarity right now, but whatever, like good enough for us. So I think a lot of institutions have enough clarity to say, okay, we can go do this with Ripple. And I think Hidden Road is a great example of that. I think some of the larger institutions might want certainty, and that's going to require Congress to make some rules and or a settlement that hashes some of that stuff out. Well, Taylor, that was another thesis. So Taylor says, wait for Circle to go public and then pull an Elon and make them an offer they have to take out of fiduciary duty. Maybe Ripple was putting this offer out to prevent Circle from going public, right? Make everyone know that they're in the market to be purchasing Circle, and maybe they're trying to make Circle scared about going public, or else Ripple's going to be like, hey, we'll just buy you. Like if you want to go public, like we'll just purchase you off the public market. So maybe this was a little bit of a tactic to make Circle a little uncertain about how they're going public. Let's see what Circle's pulling in for revenue, though. Yeah, so Circle's pulling 1.7 billion in revenue. That's pretty crazy. That's some good revenue. I mean, I would be a $6 billion offer on a company doing 2 bill in revenue. Like I said earlier, I don't know if I would be selling if I was Circle at a $6 billion valuation. I would want to see like 10 to 15. If I was Circle, 10 to 15, I think would be what I would want to see, or at least start the negotiations there. I don't think I would take 5 billion if I was Circle. I mean, you're putting out 2 billion in revenue. They're profitable. The biggest thing with Circle is their business is heavily dependent on treasury yields. So that's a kind of an important aspect, right? Like if treasuries start dropping in their yields, Circle's going to have some issues making money. So maybe Ripple can leverage yields coming down, but they haven't come down yet. So it's just tough it's tough for me to get that deal done at 6 billion. Look how much of that revenue goes directly to Coinbase. Interesting. Wow, that's crazy. Circle paid almost $1 billion of that revenue to Coinbase. Okay, that's very interesting. So they made 1.67 billion, but 1.6 they made 1.6 billion, but $1 billion went to Coinbase. Wow, that is interesting. Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah, a lot of that money is going right to Coinbase. So it's interesting to see Coinbase's foothold on that business. And Binance got 60 million. So it looks like a lot of exchanges are siphoning a lot of that revenue. Super interesting. Super interesting. I didn't realize that. Great call out. I would have never guessed those kinds of numbers. Maybe a couple 100 million. I would have said, all right, that would be my guess. But to see $1 billion going to Coinbase, I don't know what contract they got going on there, but it's interesting. Seems like they're giving away a lot of revenue. I mean, if they're making 1.6 billion and $1 billion's going to Coinbase, I mean, that's insane. You can really tell Coinbase is a huge promoter of USDC though. Like Coinbase is clearly heavily promoting the USDC ecosystem, and it makes sense when you see that they're getting $1 billion paychecks. You realize that Ripple doesn't own XRP, right? Story time. I'm not really sure where you're getting that information from, but there's about 1 million ways I can prove that wrong. I mean, you can just go look at any blockchain explorer and see XRP wallets with Ripple's name on them. It's a public blockchain. You can just look at these things. It's not there's really not a lot to get into there. Higher unemployment numbers should help the Fed cut rates, correct? Yeah, absolutely. The next inflation numbers let's take a look at Trueflation actually. Take a look at Trueflation. The next inflation numbers we get, in my opinion, are going to be, yeah, Trueflation. Let me pull this up. Trueflation is showing a 1.35% inflation rate right now. There's no way the Fed can keep rates high. I mean, the inflation numbers are below the Fed's target. So unemployment going up, inflation going away. I mean, they have to drop rates, and Circle will get hit hard when these rates drop. So will Tether. These two companies are going to be impacted massively. What will interest rate drops do to Circle's revenue? Well, theoretically, rates are at like 4.5% right now. If we get a 2% rate, it cuts Circle's revenue in half. If we go to 1%, their revenue drops by 75%. So So, excuse me. So Circle is very interest rate dependent, very interest rate dependent. And maybe that's part of what Ripple's saying. Maybe Ripple's saying, hey, look, you look great now, but if interest rates start getting slaughtered, like, you're screwed. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, but with inflation at 1.35%, interest rates are going to be coming down. There's no question about that. And I mean, theoretically, I mean, you could get interest rates close to zero again, and then Circle's really in a bad position. I mean, that's the biggest problem with the Circle's business. I don't think they make a lot of money outside of just the interest. Let's take a look at interest rates. I'll just show you guys this real quick. Huh. It, So this right here is the United States interest rate. And this is likely, as we talked about, because of inflation and because of jobs coming down. And what you can see is if we revert back down to here to a 25 quarter basis point or a quarter point on the interest rate, so 0.25% on interest rates, I mean Circle's revenue then is dropping 80 to 90%. So this is a huge issue for Circle. It's completely outside of their business. Even if interest rates drop to here, right? Like, that's not a big move on the chart. Even if interest rates just drop to here, their revenue's cut in half. So this is a huge issue for Circle. Like, just this green line, if interest rates were just to do this and drop to 2%, 2.25%, 2.5%, their revenue is slashed in half. I mean, if interest rates were to make it down to 1%, which I think is very possible. I mean, guys, just from 2008 to March 22, I mean, interest rates were at these sub 1% levels. It was there for a very long time. Circle's getting slaughtered. So I don't see any way interest rates don't come down here. Is Chris Larson at the SEC today? I remember there being talk that they were going, that Chris Larson was going to be talking with the SEC. I just can't remember the date for that. But yeah, this interest rate thing is going to be a big problem for Circle. Because as you can see, guys, interest rates, I believe, are probably topped out. So Circle's making the most money they're making right now they probably ever will. And there's a lot of room to fall on interest rates, right? Like, we can come all the way down here. So I don't see Circle's business in terms of, they can keep producing more Circle coin, which is still very valuable, right? But with interest rates coming down, I mean, never confirmed, Taylor. Okay, good to know. With interest rates coming down, I mean, I would be worried if I was Circle. I really would be. Friday. I'll see if I can get any confirmation that that meeting's actually happening. I mean, you just never know when in the cryptocurrency reports. So many things get misreported, fake information put out there. So I'll do a bit of digging and see if I can find anything that's real there. Also, guys, if you're looking to go to Apex, that Singapore, Ripple Singapore, Apex, a lot of cool things going to be going on there. So, I have that in the banner. Make sure to go check that out if you're interested in going to Singapore. Oh, Eleanor tweeted it? Okay, interesting that Eleanor tweeted it. I mean, that doesn't make it immutable, but normally Eleanor is very good about checking up on things and not reporting on things unless they're real. So I give a good amount of if Eleanor tweeted it, then I'd say that it's probably has a better chance of being real than not real. All right, now people are saying maybe Eleanor didn't tweet it, so I'm checking through her feed right now to see if I see anything. Don't see it? All right, thanks, Taylor. If anyone has a reliable source, let me know. I'll scoop it up. If Eleanor didn't post it, then once again, I'm back to being skeptical if it's real. Some people saying she did, some people saying she didn't. All right, I have to take a look for myself. So, I'm not seeing anything from Eleanor. So I'm going to say that Eleanor did not post it. And I do, Taylor is normally spot on with these things. Taylor doesn't miss. So, yeah, Taylor, I agree with you. If I would be shocked if Eleanor posted it and Taylor wasn't on that. But, you know, and I didn't see anything when I searched. It's not the end of the world, right? It would be cool to see, but I mean, looks like the traditional markets are opening strong this morning. Everything's up pre-market. So that's really good to see. Facebook up big. They beat on earnings. So a lot of companies seem like they're coming out with pretty good earnings, which will help boost the market as well. Great to see that. We had a lot of fear on the trade war and the tariffs and all that. And we'll see how much longer that sticks around. But it seems like the market's kind of starting to shake a lot of that off right now. Take a look at XRP on what XRP is doing right now. A lot of green candles coming in. I think you'll probably see XRP catch up a bit to Bitcoin today and make a big move pumping up here and hopefully stabilizing at the $2.33 level before it can make another move upward. Loved listening to me educate the Bitcoin maxis. Well, it's pretty fun to go do. So thank you for listening. I love going on there and debating the Bitcoin maxis. It's been a great experience, and I've learned a lot in the process as well. So I'm glad you were able to enjoy it, and glad that can be a sort of an educational moment for you to to learn a little bit about sort of how they look at the industry, how I look at the industry. Very, very different. Okay, so it looks like the initial job data came out and it wasn't good, which once again plays into the idea that there's going to be interest rate cuts. Really good for crypto, really good for the economy to get these cuts done as soon as possible. Really bad for Circle. I wonder if that's sort of what Ripple's looking at in terms of the risk associated with purchasing Circle. Like what's going to happen to their revenue when interest rates come down. Daniel Marshall, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Immortal Texan, can you give me some news that's fake? I don't think Tether's in any kind of trouble on an audit. I think Tether's problem is likely that they probably supported some nefarious activity that people aren't going to like. But I don't think Tether's in trouble if they get audited. I think there's enough people coming out and saying now, like, hey, Tether has the money. Like, too many big reputable people have come out right now and said that Tether has the money. I don't think Tether's failing any kind of audit. I think Tether has the money. The question is what they did before in the past that could create some issues. Tracy says more rumors. I hate rumors. Yeah, I feel you, Tracy. It's a tough place in the industry right now because there are a lot of rumors and a lot of people pick up on the rumors. It's always important to keep a close eye out on like what's real and what's not, and that's one of the hardest things in crypto. There's so many things pushed around that people act like they're a done deal. It's real, it's happening, and really it's just a rumor or their own little thesis. So you always got to be wary of that. I mean, that happens in every single market. It's not just crypto, but for whatever reason, because I think there's less trustworthy news sources in crypto. A lot of people get away with putting out an article that people can run away with. Oh, thank you so much for following up, Jack. Totally fine. Not a big deal. I totally understand. Sometimes you see things posted, and you think it was by one person, but it was by another person. But appreciate you following up on that. Not a big deal at all to have incorrect things dropped in the chat. But that's always why I like to double check things before I read them off. Or at least before I say, oh, this is happening. So great example and awesome to see you kind of coming back with that and following up. I appreciate that. Taylor, I would also love to know who leaked the Circle bid. Was that Circle? Was that Ripple? The great question, right? Like, what was the reason why that got leaked? Was it Circle kind of mentioning it to some people on the back end, like, oh, Ripple tried to do this? Was it Ripple leaking it on the back end saying, hey, we are open to purchasing companies right now? Who's next? I think there's quite a few different ways to look at that, but take a look at XRP right now. I think XRP is about to put it in a pretty big candle, maybe up to the $2.30 region. Seems like we've built a decent amount of momentum here, and it's looking to make that next push up. So XRP looks like it's getting ready to pop up and follow Bitcoin, which is great. XP Market, good to see you. Thank you for stopping in, guys. Make sure to check out XP Market. Great platform to use the XRP ledger and to be able to really experiment with a lot of different aspects of the technology. You got a lot of token issuance there, swaps, AMMs. Huge shout out to XP Market and what they're doing to build out the ecosystem. And thank you so much for being a supporter of the channel throughout the time as well. We really appreciate you coming over here. And no, super excited about a lot of these new features coming to the ledger, especially the DeFi oriented stuff that I think is going to be a really big thing for XP Market moving forward. Isn't it a big no-no for Circle to pump their valuation while they're working with the SEC to IPO? Well, what do you mean pump their valuation? I guess that's what the only thing I'd be curious about. I don't know of how they would be pumping their valuation. I mean, I don't think turning down Ripple's bid. Oh, if they were going out and leaking that, I see what you're saying. If they're going out and leaking it, maybe you could run into an issue. But it also could have been Circle who leaked it, and it wasn't like news gets around fast in crypto. So I don't know if it was a purposeful leak by Ripple or they just told someone who told a reporter, right? We don't know. We don't know the credibility of how the initial report came out. We know the credibility that this was a real offer, I believe. I think that's all but cemented with David Schwartz commenting on it. The offer was real, but the question is how it actually got leaked. That's what we don't know. Hard to prove. Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever come to an answer on this unless the purchase actually goes through. Have you noticed the GameFi narrative is growing in the market, especially coming from Sui? Yeah, I did notice that, and I'm pretty excited to see a lot of the gaming stuff kind of get back going. I think the gaming stuff has a lot of potential. We're just yet to see someone really make an application in the gaming space that really can garner mass adoption outside of people in crypto. It's like there's a lot of cool apps and ideas built out there, but we're yet to see anything that can go mainstream and bring in the non-crypto people. So I'd be really excited to see kind of a GameFi project go live that can get non-crypto people interested in crypto. Someone was laughing about XRP reaching 230. Well, that's funny because XRP was at 230 almost a day ago. So I don't see why that's so improbable. We were just at 230. Literally 2 days ago. We were up above 230 and doing a decent amount of trading up there. So I don't think it's unrealistic at all that XRP could pop up here very quickly. Did I see Paul's prediction? Put it in the DM. Oh, that if Ripple was to purchase USDC, XRP would flip ETH. I'll tell you guys, like, there's a lot of conversations on the back end of people very much unhappy with ETH. Like, a lot of people with big money are losing a lot of confidence in ETH. It's incredible to watch. People are not happy at all with Ethereum. No, XSP market, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. People are not happy at all with Ethereum right now, and I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon. They haven't been doing enough to fix the core issues, and I think that's spilling over with a lot of the frustration we're seeing. Sorry, I just want to put out a quick Circle post. I'll share what I'm posting here. So just a little, and this is why I love going on these live streams. So Circle's in an interesting position. They make 1.6 billion in revenue, but 1 billion of that is paid out to Coinbase. Interest rates will likely drop close to 50% this year at least, and this would kill Circle from a revenue and net income perspective. All right. I think that's all I have for today. Guys, thank you so much for coming. It looks like XRP is currently in the process of working back up to that 230 region. So great to see that. I think we're likely, it looks like to me, we're going to have a decent amount of momentum in the market this morning, which is awesome. If anything comes up, you guys know I'll be around. Guys, thank you so much for coming. Should be back on the live stream tomorrow. So apologize for missing yesterday, but I hope everyone has a great rest of their day.